What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. And of course, um, today being January the 26th, unfortunately, uh, equates to a sad anniversary. And I think we all remember where we were on that ill fated Sunday afternoon when we heard the news. Initially, I thought it was a bad joke, because sometimes you have these wretched people who love to put out these death hoax on social media. Initially I thought people were falling victims to that until I saw the TMZ article, which, by the way, TMZ was very wrong in doing so because you always wait for the family to be informed first before you put something out there like that. The way that Vanessa Bryant found out about her husband of what, 20 years, her husband of 20 years and her daughter's demise was disgusting through text messages. But it didn't feel real. I think that's what most people say. Most of the people who subscribe to my channel, they say, it just didn't feel real. And here we are 2 years later, and it still doesn't feel real. I think, number one, he was such a huge star. Um, you know, when former Commissioner Stern passed away New Year's Day of that year, and Kobe offered his condolences and gave something of a mini tribute eulogy to him in comments, you'd have never thought the time was running out on him. Now, his passing was not natural; it was an accident. But you would have never guessed that. Who would have ever guessed something like that? And he was in the prime of his life. He was only 4 years removed from playing basketball, less than 4 years removed from playing basketball, just entering his prime of his life, just 41 years old. And to just be, snuffed out like that by something as mundane as mechanical failure, or human error, you know, a trip that he had taken 1,000 times. Everybody remembers, that, or have heard that to beat traffic, he took a helicopter to Staples Center, or what was Staples Center, to play. I don't know, but I had overwhelming feelings of grief, a little guilt, because for many years on social media, on YouTube, I used to kind of battle it out between the Jordan versus Kobe thing, and sometimes I think I went a little too far in making videos talking about how Kobe was overrated and all of this stuff. Even though I long stopped doing that when I noticed that ESPN and other social media networks had turned against Kobe, toward the end when, he wasn't the same Kobe Bryant and disrespected him in articles. So, you know, my thing is I always try to defend those who I think are being lied unfairly, persecuted unfairly. So then I became a Kobe Bryant defender, you know. But, one thing I wonder is what would he think about the Lakers today? You know, it was Kobe Bryant, one of the last or final things that he did is try his best to welcome LeBron James to the Los Angeles Lakers, right? He tried to get Lakers Nation, who was very resistant to accepting LeBron James. He tried his best to get them to welcome LeBron James as a Laker. And the last thing that he did, social media wise, the very last thing, was congratulate LeBron James on passing him in scoring. We remember that Saturday night when he passed Kobe Bryant in scoring. We had no earthly idea that that would be Kobe Bryant's last full day on earth. But I do wonder how he would feel about the Lakers right now. Now, ultimately, they did win a championship that season. In unusual circumstances, yes, but they won a championship. But I wonder how he would feel today about this team. Um, they're not playing up to their level of potential, obviously. We can see it. There are certain games when they look like a team that you go, well, man, these boys could be a problem. But then there are times when they look old, they look disorganized, they don't look like a jail team. They look like, the fakers, slow time. Um, LeBron is getting points, but sometimes his points have minimum impact. Sometimes his overall play on the court is not impactful. But I do wonder if Kobe Bryant was there, as competitive as he is, and as much as he was getting back into basketball, as being an observer of it, I can't help but think that the Lakers will be more motivated and more pressed to play better. I mean, Magic Johnson is Magic Johnson, but Magic Johnson is a relic to some of these younger guys. They don't really remember Magic. They remember Kobe. Many players that are playing right now in the NBA there's still players playing today that played against Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is a more recent memory. He's that dude. He's that guy that many players feared even to his last you know day as a player, and his impact on the Lakers, I would argue, is even greater than LeBron. He had that type of influence, and I can't help but think that if Kobe Bryant was playing right now, he would be on these motherfuckers' asses. Do you think that Russell Westbrook would be saying a lot of the flippant shit that he been saying if Kobe Bryant was still around? Do you think it's not like Kobe is LeBron's daddy, but do you think LeBron would be going around bragging about his numbers on Instagram if the influence of Big Brother Kobe Bryant was still around? Remember when LeBron first got there, he was a little bit more humble actor because Kobe didn't play that shit. Don't brag about your motherfucking numbers when we losing. Who gives a shit? So these are some of the things I do wonder, man. I wonder if Kobe was still around, would the Lakers, this Lakers team, be better? I think they would. I think they would. That was the influence that Kobe Bryant had with the organization. Um, Now I'm not saying that his influence would go as far as personnel. He's not a player, but he was, I should say, he was sort of an unofficial advisor. And I think if he saw some things that he didn't like, he had that type of respect that LeBron James would listen to him. And you do wonder about certain things. Um, but tell me what you guys think, man. And what are your memories about Kobe Bryant?